Hello, Aries, and welcome to your Path of True Love reading for August 2019. I am your reader for today, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, the professional witch of Long Island. I'm not the only one, but I'm probably the only one that doesn't have a day job as well. Just saying. The gods have put me to work. The angels and the masters are ready. I've got a new thing for y'all today. Of course, the way that I work, there's always an arc of evolution in my creativity, and that's true for all of us, by the way. But they told me to add a new deck. Now, not new to me, but new to these readings. And I never use these in readings with clients, but I think they want me to. Take a deep breath, people. They told me to bring in the Caroline Myss archetype cards. Now, I've spoken about Caroline Myss. Look at the size of that deck. I've been with men that aren't that thick. Since we're talking about Aries, right, ruled by Mars, the symbol of which is a phallus, and I didn't make it that way. It's just what it is. In meditation, I was not planning on doing these today. I actually have a meeting later today, a business meeting. I really wasn't thinking of doing this, but it's not until later this afternoon. I woke up this morning, they're like, do it! I'm like, okay. So let's rock and roll. We're doing the Path of True Love readings for Aries, but we're going to actually start with, we're only going to use 2 of these cards. Maybe if we need to elucidate on something, we will bring it in again for more. But what we're going to do is different. We are going to pick one archetype card. By the way, look at Caroline Myss, Myss.com. Read Sacred Contracts. Life changer for me, and I really dove into it after a really horrible heartbreak. Healed my shit. Well, put me on the path of true love in a whole different way. We're going to pick one for you, the watcher. And if you are cross-watching, that's fine, but then the first card is going to be the person that you are cross-watching for, if that makes sense. And boy, this is where it gets complicated, huh? And the second card will be an archetype for the other. So the way that I've been seeing them done online, and I kind of agree with it in general purposes, they're calling it divine masculine, divine feminine. So that's how I'm going to do it. So here's the thing. I'm gay. I don't care how you gender yourself or what your gender preference is. But not in that I don't care in a mean way. It's just like, no, blessed be. Whatever you want to live and let live, fairly take, fairly give. Witches read poetic version. Look it up. Doreen Valiente, blessed be. So that's what we're going to do. So let's do this. And then, of course, I'll be drawing from the angels, the gods, and the masters decks as we go. So I'm tuning in here. I really had a nice meditation and conversation with them all. So the first thing that we're going to start with is, yeah, I hear you, God, Goddess, divine masculine, divine feminine. Please give us an archetype card that will represent for these readings, for this reading, sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. On the path of true love for 2019, divine feminine. Ladies first. They're saying ladies first. So one for the divine feminine in this relationship. Cut and take the top of the cut. The storyteller. Okay, the storyteller. Now, I'll read you what I love about these cards is there are descriptions on the bottom, both the light at the top and the shadow at the bottom, because all archetypes are neutral. So, light attribute, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Actually have the storyteller archetype, but of course in its shadow, making up tales that harm others. Now, making up tales, it's lying. Stories, fables, mythology, I think is more real than life most days, but you know what I mean. It's like fiction. That's part of the storyteller, but that doesn't mean that it's harmful. That archetypes are all about power. So, I just reshuffled her back in. I'll pull her out and have her for the end. But let's see, maybe I should do that, because what if divine masculine and divine feminine have the same archetype cards? Oh, that's a really good idea. Thank you. See, learning curve. I swear, when I croak on my shrine, inscribed somewhere in stone so I can find myself if necessary in the next life. He lived on a learning curve. It's all about learning curve. So, my gods, God Goddess, please, a card of the divine masculine for the sign of Aries. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. Oh, this feels interesting. Top of the deck, the bully. Oh. For Aries, never, he said sarcastically. Light attribute. Highlights your tendency to intimidate others. Helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Shadow attribute. Conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Snap. Okay, so we're putting the divine masculine on that side. I'll dig out the divine feminine. I only need to make a mistake like that once. But no, I'm going to keep shuffling those in. That was cool, because what if they did get both the same? So in terms of dealing with the divine feminine, I'm feeling, oh, and by the way, like I said about gender, you could totally be the male physical embodiment, but be the energy of the divine feminine and vice versa. I find, depending on the relationships I'm in, I can go back and forth because we both have masculine and feminine within us. So with certain lovers, the path of true love isn't always about lovers and romance, but we'll see. But in certain lover relationships, I've been the divine masculine, and others I've been the divine feminine. It's just how it works out. It's how we learn how to balance. But I do believe in a true love relationship where, you know, both people are sort of like, no, we're doing this to heal. And even if the other person's not, wait till my book comes out. Go watch some of my other videos on my channel that talk about true love, because it's all happening to you. What is true love if not an archetypal lens to view the spiritual healing path all the way home, through your relationships, obviously different than the path of wise wealth, which I'll get to that book eventually too. So when we're looking at the storyteller, my divine feminine, that the stories you're telling yourself, not just to others, there may be some lies and deceptions going on for sure, but usually those start within ourselves. When there's pain we want to avoid, the mental body kicks in, the mind. We are not the mind. The mind is something that the soul has. It is not something that the soul is. In the path of true love, we're talking all about soul stuff here that has to make its way all the way down into physical form through your conduct, hence relationships. That's why they're so rough, right? You have to constantly align your conduct with the highest truth that you're aware of at that time. So keep that in mind with the bully, right? I really should have grabbed that card. The card of the bully. The thing about that, my divine masculines, my Aries, is that, well, the Aries was a bully. I mean, the god Aries is one of the gods that's in the room here today. I asked all of them, but particularly that's sort of on the nose. So to really have a look at what is your fear, what's bullying you, because behind every bully there's really a coward. That the coward uses the bully as a mask. So to alchemize, which is what really is an important word to bring in here, how do you alchemize the lead to gold? Well, through the relationship. So whether there's separation, whether you're together, whether you're hanging out, whether you're communicating, you know, again, doesn't always, I know it's not all about lovers and boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives. Oh my, oh my. I was just hoping it would just pop out. Probably will if I look. But you're sort of getting where I'm going with that anyway. Oh, the monk nun popped out, but that's okay. I'm just scanning. A storyteller. Good. There she is. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And may Caroline Mace be blessed with grace. I love her. Tough cookie, her. I need tough cookie teachers, particularly divine feminines. Okay, so here we go. We're now going to pull the cards of the angels. I already... So in communication with the Michaelites, the archangels of fire, the archangels of the south, you know, there's a whole bunch of them. They all call themselves Michael. No. Cute, but no. So my angels, can you please give us one card to start with on the path? Please give me one card to start with for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. Just one to clarify, a hint, a tip, a trick. Abundance. Not bad. Good place to start, right? An abundance of what will look, but let's get the first 3 clarifying voices of the angels, the gods, and the masters on the table, shall we? By the way, this t-shirt that I'm wearing, it's a Bette Midler concert t-shirt from Detour, D-E-T-O-U-R. 1983, bitch still fits. I love you, Bette Midler. She saved my life at that concert. This is the concert where Bette Midler saved my life. She didn't know. She didn't know where I said if she can get away with doing that. So if anybody knows her, just tell her there's a gay witch on Long Island whose life she saved back in 1983 at Jones Beach Theater, what it was called at the time. Don't know why they told me to say that, but they did tell me to wear it because it's red. Oh yeah, and I've got the jock and the bad boy. Because I like an archetypal set design. 2 different sides of Aries, right? All right, my gods, here we go. I feel you. This is definitely the god Aries here. Can you please give us, and any other gods that want to chime in, please? Oh, it feels so good. 1 card for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. 1 card, please. The Sun. I told you I felt good. I was like, ew, I'm getting chills. They're multiplying. Jinkies. The Sun, happiest card in the deck, always sheds light, always. This feels like a breakthrough month for you all in general, but on the path of true love, you've got abundance and the Sun. So between the whether you are the divine masculine or the divine feminine, sort of what you're looking at here is an overall note of success and happiness and a lot of it. But what do we know about that last deck he reads, that Mark? It's all lovely until he picks up that Chuck Spezzano love pack, because it's just equally stacked with lovely cards. And by the way, the book is really well written that comes with it. Teeny tiny itty bitty print. I usually have to read it with a magnifying glass because I'm old. But there are also these Womp Womp cards, which are helpful, which are necessary, right? Talk about alchemy. It's a very alchemical deck in that sense. Very Course in Miracles based, you know, a return to love. Highly individualized curriculum. So my masters, who I had a lovely chat with earlier today, really feel like there are 2 divine feminine masters here. But there's always a balance, if that's the case, that there has to be at least 2 divine masculine working with them. Wait till I say it. Wait till I say it. I can do it. What I can do. Mad TV flashback. My masters, please, 1 card for the sign of Aries. Stuart! Sign of Aries. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. Top of the card. Defensiveness, of course. Oh, womp womp, but not a horrible womp womp. Look, Aries, I get it. You've been burned and you've burnt, probably both. You know, that's the thing. Particularly if you are the divine masculine of the bully, then, you know, what is the bully stance if not a defense against being wounded, right? It's a defensive thing. Well, yes, I hear what you're saying. They're saying, yeah, aggressive narcissist is the extreme here. Because you're not then taking responsibility for what your own fear is looking on them. You're blaming everyone else and asking everyone else, demanding that everybody else dance to your tune. That may be true here, particularly if there's verbal abuse in this situation, that oftentimes we do that as a defense so that people won't attack, right? It's like walking around with your dukes up. And it's a mask. It's not the truth of who you are. It's a means of you really looking at how you intimidate others and how you intimidate yourself and how your fears intimidate you. But divine feminine, I have to say, defensiveness, what is the story that you're telling to yourself about this divine masculine in terms of them bullying you? And are you ready to kind of change that story for yourself? Because really, my sense is both of you are being hyper defensive here. And not to say that, oh my God, there's an abundance of defensiveness. If these were the only cards I was looking at in this context, I'd agree with that. But with the Sun, that things are being brought out into the light. And this is not expose her, drag her. This feels really, really good. So maybe the defensiveness that's going on here is about past stuff that needs to come out so that you guys can really enjoy whatever this is. Don't you think so, Diana? Blessed be, Mark. I had the red one, but I didn't want Diana to upstage bet. I hear she doesn't like it. Let's have a look-see then. What is this abundance card about? You want me to pull tarot? All right, they're making me cross deck. It's like CrossFit without all the work. My gods, please give me an indicator, a clarifier. I need to make room. I have a big table, but this is going to take up a lot of space, I have a feeling. Give me a clarifier, please, of what this angel card, what are the angels talking about the abundance? What is this an abundance of? I feel it. Just give me the card so I can see it and then say it. What is this card of abundance about? Ooh, Leo, creativity. Now again, this deck, literally the name of each sign, there are 12 court cards, zodiacal cards, so I really don't have to mess around with that, you know, saying it's Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. It just says right on the card, Chantico, the mother of flames, fixed fire, like an oven. So there's an abundance of creativity. Fifth house is creativity, good fortune, pleasure. And if this is a sexy, sexy time, I'm just going to say that this is sort of the romantic, passionate side of it, but it can also be very luxuriant. Luxuriant lovemaking. I love Leos. But I'm Leo rising, and I tend to scare the crap out of them, and they turn into cowardly lion. Boop, instantly. Pretty much. Maybe by third date. Third time's usually a charm. But that's me. So there's definitely, if this is not an actual Leo sign, whatever the placement might be, it's saying that there is an abundance of sexuality and creativity and fire. Fire. Disco Inferno. Burn, baby, burn. You know, they play songs in my head while I do this. They do that all the time. That's why in the car I crank the radio. Eternal DJs. Okay. So what's interesting about that then is then the defensiveness. Because that sun card, I could tune in, I could go in deeper, but maybe not yet. But that card of defensiveness, what is this Aries defending from? They're like, pull another. By the way, this is Daughters of the Moon by Fiona Morgan. Brilliant deck, feminist deck. Read it since I'm, 18, 19 years old. I've had, this is actually my third version of it. Because I'm 50. Everything needs replacement sooner or later, darling. All right, my gods, what is Aries here? Whether divine masculine or divine feminine or both. Can you imagine two Aries? Can't. One card, please, to clarify what these Aries on the path of true love. Nope. Nope. On the path of true love for 2019. What are they defending against? What is this defense card about? A Taurus. Now that's interesting. Another zodiacal card. Now, not that I ever expect cards to come up. Sometimes I can get a feeling, oh, I feel the Tower or I feel the Lovers or whatever. But here we're really looking at Mother of Pentacles, Taurus, the Great Corn Mother. So that defensiveness, I mean, the word mother is in there, but then again, the word mother is in the Leo card as well, Mother of Flames. So this is Mother of Pentacles, Mother of Flames. But that defensiveness might be about life values, Taurus. You know, I find that telling people, oh yeah, your true love partner is a this or a that, looks like this, looks like that. It's like, that's not helpful. It's not helpful. You think it is, it's not. And this is their address and their zip code and their blood type and all of that. It's like, oh honey, no. This is a mystical path. You don't get clues like that. And if you do, well, you're somebody reincarnated that they want to put to work PDQ, right? I've never seen it work that way. Not just in my career and in other people's careers, never seen it work that way. So whoever this, the defensiveness, although I gotta say this defensiveness feels mutual defensiveness, not locked swords, locked shields. Got it. All right. Is that what you're really, what's being defended here is a life value, Taurus, fixed earth, something that you value. There might very well be money issues involved here, that you're defensive about the money, or you're defensive that they're going to try and take your money, or maybe the divine masculine is bullying the divine feminine about money, wanting it, or there's not enough, or you're not good with it, and if you don't want, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. The IRS is, well, always in town. You know, I get that there might be a financial part of this, but it feels in the conflict then is not just about between Leo and Taurus. By the way, both fixed signs, fixed fire, fixed earth. Wow, irresistible force, immovable object. Irresistible force, immovable object. The Leo being the sun, the irresistible force. We turn away from it, I guess that in that way, but it's the planet doing it, right? And Taurus, the immovable object, bedrock, but fertile soil too that does not blow around. A massive opportunity here with that sun card to really grow something here, but there does feel to be a lot of stubbornness. Yes, stubbornness about a life value versus creativity, of one perhaps saying, come on, this is so hot, this is so powerful, and the other like, no, I need this, not until we're married. I'm sure that still happens somewhere. We're not having sex until we get married. But you know, they keep drawing my eye back to the card of the sun, Amaterasu, right? Japanese goddess of the sun and joy and happiness. And that she's sort of like, they're all like in different modes. If you look at the card, I'll take a picture of it, I always do. If you really look, their arms are like outstretched in goddess position, which you usually think of drawing down the moon. This is like drawing down the sun. There is a very, because that is the only major arcana card, granted I only pulled 3 tarot, but it's so dominant, and it is literally sitting right in the center of the spread. So all right. So my masters then, can you please give me one card that Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs can focus on, whether it's a positive or a negative, that they can use a little piece of guidance, a little piece of grace to help them bring this into balance, to help them utilize the energy of the divine power of the sun, of that joy, for clarity, for healing, for health. Top of the deck. Using, are you being used? You need to look at that. You need to look at that. Now look, that may not be true for every situation here, but I gotta say, someone's being used or using the other person. Now, when we look at using people, we've all done it, and it's all been done to us. It's just part of the sabotorial victim spectrum, right? How we sabotage ourselves. You know, what I'm feeling here is that deep inside you knew that you were going to be used, if you're on that side of it, because it does feel like one's using the other, although it's very possible that you're using each other mutually, because Divine Feminine, with the storyteller, you get to tell the story. You get to use that story like currency of how you're being used, and yet you are using this person to maybe stay stuck, stay stubborn, because you may value your wounds more, because they let you get over on things, right? It's called Woundology. Carolyn May, so I should have known when I put those cards on the table that this was going to happen. See, tarot is a language, and just like the English language or any other, you can tell any kind of story you want, right? It's like moving parts. Trixie Mattel. Yes, honey, honey. This story here is one where I don't think that your outcome is certain right now, because it doesn't feel like with those two fixed tarot, the Mother of Flames Leo and the Mother of Pentacles Taurus, that there's much movement on here, and yet the sun is shining. There is opportunity, there is clarity, there is joy, there is abundance. So this story isn't over. This might be a karmic relationship. In other words, may not be the true love partner, person, but the lesson is necessary here. Can you use, this is an interesting way to say this, but I like it. Can you use that card of the Sun to enlighten yourself, enlighten the situation? Because as you do that, I mean, that card of abundance there, this just feels like there's so much going on here. Creativity, and certainly there are values, there are bedrock values going on here, but this card of using, if this is indeed mutual between a bully and a storyteller, a divine masculine and a divine feminine, then really step back, have a look, be stuck, but bring light to it. Break chains of illusion and set all things to right. Reveal what has been hidden and bring true love to light. But this is definitely to be a continued, because there's so much fixed energy here. I don't see anybody walking away. But if you are the divine masculine in this, really, you got to look at the bully archetype. You really have to look at, I mean, the shadow attribute conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Well, what are your deep fears, dude? Or dudette? Again, this isn't about gender, it's about energy, yin and yang. If I said divine yin and divine yang, I'd get shit on that too. Cultural misappropriation. Light attributes highlights your tendency to intimidate others. Highlights, so are you an intimidator? And then is the storyteller playing poor me? By the way, you might want to check out The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. It's an older book, but it's really good. Read about the 4 control dramas, because once you become aware of them, they stop. Doesn't mean they can't kick back in, but once you're aware of them, they stop. What can I offer you, my Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019? Go into prayer. Talk to your gods, your angels, your masters, and say, show me. Keep the prayers simple. You're Aries. You don't need long, flowery paragraphs and pages. Show me. Show me what's going on here. The light is here. I got this, get that the sun is shining down on here. This might be a big time for me to actually have realization and throw off chains of illusion. And maybe if that happens mutually, they're telling me not even to go there right now. That might be for September, October, November. I don't. Here's the thing about prediction. Time is mutable in the quantum. So you forgive somebody, you heal something, it changes everything. It really, it's just how it works. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know that's how it works. Cool. All right, my darlings, go for it. I love you. I wish you the very, very, very best in all of this. And may your month of August on the path of true love be blessed and blessed be.